respiratory malaria.
Luta is another quality product from Ovid and marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited.
President Tinubu assures Christians and other faithfuls of freedom of worship as enshrined in the Constitution, commits to upholding religious liberty in his Christmas message to Nigerians. Tough days ahead for the former Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, as the federal government faces 16-count charge bordering on money laundering preferred against him by the federal government. Hello and welcome to Politics Today, reaching you live from Lagos, global headquarters, the nation's commercial nerve center. It's Christmas Eve, so 24th of December is already here. So by tomorrow, is it tomorrow now? We should be saying hours from now. That's the right thing to say. We'll be saying Merry Christmas. So let me be the first to say Merry Christmas to you in advance, just in case no one has told you. And let's enjoy the reason for the season. And we're looking at some of the things that have been happening in our country as we enjoy this Yuletide season. And one of the things that had happened is to the effect that the federal government has now filed a 16-count charge of alleged money laundering charge to the tune of 1.01 billion naira against the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami. senior advocate of Nigeria, and his son Abubakar Abdulaziz Malami, before a federal high court in Abuja. Also listed as co-defendant in that case is Hajia Bashir Asabe. According to the charge, the government is accusing Malami, his son, and others of being involved in laundering and concealment of over 1 billion naira, allegedly traced to a commercial bank. In the 16-count charge, the Nigerian government alleges that between July 2022 and June 2025, within Abuja and the jurisdiction of that court that the case is filed, the defendant procured Metropolitan Auto Tech Limited to conceal what they consider the unlawful origin of the money. The charge alleges, in part, that the defendants used the company as a front to conceal the origin and the movement of the funds, an act the federal government says constitutes to money laundering under extant Nigerian laws. So it's been a tough time for the former Minister of Justice. In fact, literally some of the persons who served under former President Muhammadu Buhari, God rest his soul, from Emefiele, now to Ngige, Abubakar Malami, we can go on and on, Adir Sirika. So it's literally almost like that administration on trial as far as the issue of corruption is concerned. And that's one of the things they upheld as they will fight. The former president, who has now passed on, had said 3 things he would challenge and make sure he resolves as far as the Nigerian case is concerned. That has to do with security, corruption, and of course the economy. But seeing all of this, as a matter of fact, let's also say all of these are alleged. It has to be proven in court. And away from that, let's also tell you that the President, Bola Tinubu, in his message, has pledged to safeguard freedom of worship or religious freedom across Nigeria, assuring citizens that his administration is firmly committed to the people, protecting all persons practicing all faith from violence. He emphasized that maintaining national security and unity and stability remains one of the government's foremost responsibility. In his 2025 Christmas message, the president stressed that his government will continue to uphold constitutional rights of Nigerians to live peacefully, practice their faith freely, and pursue their goals without fear. The message reads in part, the very first you saw, if we could go back to it, the president says, as your president, I remain committed to doing everything within my power to ensure religious freedom in Nigeria and to protect all people of different faiths from violence. It adds that no one, regardless of ethnicity or beliefs, should be made to suffer from professing and practicing his faith. The love for God and the love for humanity is at the heart of all the great faiths. These shared values must continue to bind us together as one indivisible and resilient people of our blessed country. So that's the message of Mr. President as on Christmas Eve. That's his Christmas message. And you can see where this is coming from, given the fact that Nigeria was classified as a country of particular concern by the United States government and issues around alleged Christian genocide. So perhaps that's why this message is as direct as it could get. But today, we're not just talking Christmas and the Yuletide. We're going to talk politics. And the politics is going to be in 2 parts. We're going to talk about the state of the opposition on one hand, and we're going to look at the legalese as to some of the decisions of the Supreme Court or the Apex Court, or the court in general, that seem to, the court tend to indemnify itself from activities within political parties. But it looks like that indemnity is causing even bigger chaos. So where do we go from here? It's a very important fundamental conversation because democracy has structures, it has institutions it must stand on, and if these institutions are not protected as much as possible. One of those institutions is a formidable opposition. The ruling party is having the best time of their life, 27 or 28 governors now in their fold, and more, perhaps 1 or 2 more from the PDP joining them from what we understand. So it looks like the opposition is in chaos. That's why we continue to mainstream this conversation as much as possible. But that's not all we're talking about today. Let's bring you other political roundup, other political stories in our political roundup.
As Christians across the country and around the world celebrate Christmas, President Bola Tinubu has called on Nigerians to embrace peace, unity, and religious tolerance. In his 2025 Christmas goodwill message, the president congratulates Christians and prayed that the season will renew hope, love, and goodwill among Nigerians. He described Christmas as a time for reflection on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ and the message of salvation he preached as Prince of Peace. Tinubu reaffirmed his commitment to safeguarding religious freedom and ensuring that Nigerians of all faiths are protected from violence and discrimination. The federal government has filed 16 counts of alleged money laundering charge against the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami SAN, and his son Abubakar Abdulaziz Malami before the Federal High Court in Abuja to the tune of 1.014 billion naira. Also listed as a co-defendant in the case is Haji Bashir Asabe. According to the charge, the government is accusing Malami, his son, and others of being involved in the laundering and concealment of 1,014,848,500 naira, allegedly traced to a commercial bank. In the 16 charges, the Nigerian government alleged that between July 2022 and June 2025, within Abuja and the jurisdiction of the court, the defendants procured Metropolitan Auto Tech Limited to conceal the unlawful origin of the money. Meanwhile, the federal government has directed the Federal Road Maintenance Agency, FEMA, to immediately shift from paperwork and scatter projects to visible and impactful road and bridge repairs across the country, saying Nigerians are tired of excuses and demand results. The directive was given by the Minister of State for Works, Mr. Bello Goronyo, during a high-level meeting of all federal contractors and directors of the ministry. He charged FEMA to prioritize critical road sections and collapse bridges, stressing that the era of comfort zones and multiple low-impact projects is over. The National State All Progressives Congress (APC) has adopted a consensus method for its state congresses. The motion to adopt consensus was moved by the lawmaker representing Awe, Doma, Keana Federal Constituency, Abubakar Nanaraba, and was seconded by the Deputy National Secretary of the party, Abdul Karim Kana. The stakeholders agreed to move during an expanded meeting chaired by Governor Abdullahi Sule at the Government House in Lafayette, the state capital. Lastly, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command is assuring residents of border communities of adequate security despite the poor road network and the telecommunications services around such communities. Speaking in Abuja shortly after embarking on an operational visit to Kawo Imbwari Area Council, the FCT Commissioner of Police, Mila Dantawaye, says the command is working assiduously to improve security within and around the nation's capital in order to ensure the safety of all residents. He explains that the police will not be deterred by the bumpy roads surrounding some border communities, as the command remains committed to responding to distress calls promptly.
Welcome back. So let's talk about the People's Democratic Party. As far as their politics is concerned, yesterday, the governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, had made some revelations as to some of the insider conversations they've had, and he's not brought it to the open. That has opened some kind of worms, if you will, as far as the conversation around the internal politics of the People's Democratic Party is concerned. They've lost so many governors since 2014, 2013. From the initial 5, they lost to the defection led by Rotimi Amechi and the rest of them. As of today, due to defection alone, not by election, they losing a seat. No, defection alone, we're counting close to maybe 12 to going on 15. And that is humongous. And that speaks to the level of challenge the People's Democratic Party is facing. As a matter of fact, there are 2 parts now. Now, depending on who you're talking to, they will say there's only 1 part. Typical of politicians, everybody is claiming that they are the right leadership. But our job is to bring everybody to the table and ask them the questions we're meant to ask to them. Let me bring in my guest, the Deputy National Secretary of the National Caretaker Committee, Mr. Adedeji Doherty, joins us virtually. Mr. Doherty, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, and good evening.
Mr. Doherty, on a lighter note, sometimes one of the most difficult things to do with the People's Democratic Party is designation. But I'm happy it's beginning to find a bit of shape. But tell us exactly what is, if you want to describe, let's start generically now. If you want to describe the state of the People's Democratic Party, I don't think whether you are pro-Wike or pro-Makinde or pro-whatever it is you're pro-in, none of you should be happy at the state of your party, because some things that are not, I'm trying to manage my words here, very disturbing development as far as your party is concerned has happened over the time. But if you have to describe what exactly is going on with your party, how would you describe it?
Well, thank you. And I'm happy to be on your channel again, this evening. How do you describe what is happening in the party today? I think, to be quite honest with you, and like you had said, if you have been a member of the People's Democratic Party for 20, 25, 26 years consistently, and you've not moved to any other party, whatever is happening in the party today will definitely dampen your spirit. It will definitely be worrisome to you, and especially your political career. You understand? So in a very short sentence, I would like to say that our party is trying to find its footing within the political space and within the history of democracy in Nigeria. And that's basically it. It is sad, but definitely as the foremost party, as one of the biggest party in the nation, as the custodians of democracy for 16 years straight, and for the party that has created the instruments and the template that is keeping democracy going for the past 20-something years, and for the party that has handed over peacefully, you understand, to an opposition party, it is part of history, you understand. And I think as a party, we should be ready to take responsibility for our actions and inactions during this democratic, the history of democracy in Nigeria. That's basically it.
Mr. Doherty, if you ask others, they will say, Nyesom Wike, who is the leader of the group you belong to, permit me to use that word now, will say the other ones are the ones that want to destroy the party. They are saying that your group, are the ones that are hell-bent on bringing the PDP to its knees. In fact, by the revelation of Governor Makinde, by his own allegations or the claim he made, he said that Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister, had said to the president, I will hold PDP for you. And it looks like those words are coming true if we're to go by what Seyi Makinde said. They said, your group are the ones hell-bent on making sure that the PDP does not succeed in 2027. Do you agree?
Well, with all due respect to the governor of Oyo State, I would like to just put on record that the governor of Oyo State is the person that is trying. I'm not even saying his group, because you have some good people that are in his group but have been psychologically, they've been told a lot of lies that they probably believe the lies, but a lot of them are getting to see that Seyi Makinde is just a rabble-rouser. Now, let me say something. This is
my apologies, the use of language. Just hold on, sir. Please, the use of language. That's executive governor of a state. So the use of language is important, please. Well,
in politics, when we're in the whole of politics, we use any word, whether the governor or not.
This is a national. This is a national television, listen, so yes, you can use it. Hold on, just hold on. Just hold on, sir. Just hold on. You're my guest.
With all due respect to his seat,
yes.
Listen. With all due respect to his seat, yes, I can hold back.
Manage your. But I'm just appealing to you to manage your words, please, please, so that we have.
We can manage our words. You understand? But the Nigerian people definitely need to know the truth. This is a 2021. This is a 2021 petition concerning Governor Seyi Makinde. Let me read it to you, just the heading. That's all I'm reading. Report on the activities of the governor of Oyo State towards his collaborating plan with others to disrupt the peace in the Lagos State chapter of the People's Democratic Party by using some state executives through somebody, I don't want to mention that person's names, and You know, this is a petition in 2021, not 2022, not 2023, not 2024, in 2021. This is the governor of Oyo State we're talking about. Now, this is another one. This is a peace. This is our peace meeting held, dated Monday, the 25th of October, 2021, concerning the same governor of Oyo State. And this peace meeting was brokered by who? By Governor Wike when he was sitting governor of Rivers State. Now, having said that, I am not here because I'm not a career politician like a lot of people. But I have been in the party for the past 25, 26 years. And I know the party. I have been the financial secretary of the zone. I've been the organizing secretary of the zone. I've been the acting vice chairman of the zone, which comprises 6 states. And I've also been the state chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State. It was when I was chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Lagos State is when I saw a lot of irregularities coming from the hand of Jacob through the hand of Esau or whatever. And I found out that it was the same governor of Oyo State that was behind it. These are court documents. Now, all this put together and what is happening now, it shows the intention that this person had right from years back, that he probably had an ambition, he probably had something he was trying to do, but I saw the high-handedness in the governor in trying to impose people on everybody. And if you don't listen to him, if you don't flow with him, he was going to take you to court. He was going to jail you. I can tell you this. I have several cases in court.
All right, Mr. Doherty, let me come in. Let me come in so that we can progress with the conversation. You've made very strong allegations. I'm sure his people will be able to respond to all of these allegations. But let's talk about what is happening now. Help me and help Nigerians.
What is happening now?
No, hold on, just hold on. Let me throw in my question. Let me throw in my question in addition to what you're about to say. Help us make sense of the fact that maybe the FCT minister and your group are saying you will support the president in 2027. Some have actually now started defecting to the APC. But some of you are still in the PDP. You support the just hold on. You support the president, but you're still in the PDP. Isn't that classic spoiler move, if you ask me?
No. Please let us get a lot of things straight in politics. It looks as if some people need to be educated a little bit about diplomacy. You understand? Political correctness and political party actions. Let me give you a very clear example. You have in the United States, you have the Democrats and you have the Republicans. Sometimes you see the Republicans voting in favor of the Democrats. Both also in London, in the parliament, you have the Conservatives, you have the Labour, you have the Independents. You see them collaborating and forming unity among themselves within the House. Would you say that that is a spoiler's move? No, it isn't. Let me give you another instance. Now, this same group, I don't want to mention the governor's name anymore so that you don't let us waste too much time on that. This other group, okay, they were the leaders of the G5. They were the ones that created a situation whereby the party lost that election. Now, for obvious reasons, let us say the reasons were, yes, it was the choice of, it was the time for the South. It wasn't the time for the North. and all that. But let me say something about the other side, which I belong to, and which I am familiar with, which I know, and which I believe is the truth. Now, Governor Wike was a presidential aspirant. Governor Wike was a sitting governor. Governor Wike was the governor among all governors. I can take you to any level, fact check it. He contributed close to 60% of whatever was expended in the PDP. You understand? Now, he also vied for the president. He did not win. However, we found out later how he didn't win. But that is bygone is bygone. You understand? Now, he did not win. But he accepted, which he had said before the primaries. He accepted. And when it came to the table, it was negotiated that the party, not Wike, not anybody, the party should go and pick a vice president for Atiku. The party wrote a letter. I saw the letter. I'm a state chairman. I saw the letter. The party wrote a letter with Governor Wike's name as #1 pick. #1 pick. When it came out, Governor Okowa is my very close friend. Okay? When the time came up and Governor Wike lost that election, Atiku saw him, they agreed, they did everything. Whatever happened after that was a different decision.
Mr. Doherty, because of time, I will need to butt in so that if you can answer me as quickly so that I can ask you as many questions as possible. I'm listening to you. Very strong points you've raised, as a matter of fact.
I will round it up really quick.
Yes, just hold on. But the point.
Let me get to the point.
In two seconds, if you can, in 10 seconds, so that I can ask my next question.
Let me get to the point. The point is this: Governor Wike was shortchanged. At the end of the day, he still worked with the party up to the point where everything that was agreed was jettisoned, which Seyi Makinde also said. Governor Seyi Makinde also said in his interview. You understand? And they decided to part. Okay? Now, once they parted, okay, why would we in PDP, with the sitting BOTs, allow a sitting governor or a governor that has contributed so much to leave the party for the opposition to take? They were smart. They took it. Now, is Governor Wike weakening the party? I don't think that he's weakening the party. Let me tell you why also. The reason why I'm saying this is that he has been given a position, and at that position as minister, he has been able to work for other PDP members to get other positions.
All right, Mr. Doherty, let me come in here. I don't know, you know, the debates with politicians can be quite interesting. I don't know what else is anti-party activity as simply working against your party or however you want to. Whether it's Makinde that and if G5 and Wike that carried it, it was clearly anti-party activity. There was enough. Just hold on. These are available facts. I'm not saying something that was not there. They came out, they are members of a political party, and the G5 said, look, this thing has to stay in the South. It's only fair that this thing stays in the South. This position stays in the South. So we have to keep it in the South. And they worked against their party. That was classic anti-party activity. Now that seems to be happening again. Now, where I'm going to with my question is, now the party is at the point where INEC had to, in their discretion, say, look, guys, let's come to the table. What exactly is going on? Too many correspondents from factions. Is there a way we can work this out? It didn't look like there was anything coming out. Then the Turakis group wrote a letter trying to get their names on the website and clearly recognize them. But INEC wrote and said, look, there are two subsisting judgments. There's a motion on appeal. Pending when that is determined, we're not going to talk to anyone. So it looks like this is a stalemate. So where does the party go from here?
Well, it looks as if you even have more information. You really don't need me on this channel to even talk at all, because it looks as if you have your mind made up on a lot of things.
No, Mr. Doherty, no. Just so that we are clear. I just built a case.
No,
there was a G5. No, just hold on. Just hold on, Mr. Doherty. We're having a conversation, so we understand ourselves.
I'm holding on.
I said G5. We know what they did, and we know what is going on now. And then INEC had called everybody to say, let there be a way forward as a political party. It seemed that there was no way forward. One group wrote to INEC saying, you have to recognize me because I'm the authentic leader. INEC said, no, there's a judgment against you, and there's a motion and notice on the appeal. And so it looks like there's a stalemate. And I asked, what is the way forward? So what exactly is I'm stating facts here.
You are not speaking facts because you are not there. You understand? Let me explain to you what happened. Turaki was writing INEC. We didn't call to meet INEC. Turaki was the one that wrote severally to meet INEC. Okay? Now, the INEC chairman, in his own wisdom, decided to call both parties. Now, immediately we walked in, we could see the faces of Turaki that they were not happy. You understand? Okay, we walked in. The INEC chairman let us talk, and Turaki spoke and everything. You understand? And the INEC chairman had to caution Turaki and told him that, look, you are sending so many letters to us, blah, blah, blah. We don't have you in our books, at least not yet. So we can't even treat any of your letters. So it's better you stop writing these letters to us because we don't even have your name in our books. We haven't written, and the only person that has written to INEC on behalf of our own side is Anyanwu, who is the national secretary. Now, Damagu could not write INEC again because Damagu had resigned from his position to hand over to Turaki during their purported convention. You understand? That is just the plain truth. And the INEC chairman did not say that, Abdurrahman and your group are the authentic ones, or it's Turaki that's authentic. And we did not go there to ask that. All he tried to clarify is that the right person should write them, not the wrong person. And Turaki asked why, which is natural. And he said, the reason is this. One, you have two final judgments from the Federal High Court who have jurisdiction over them. The judgment that you are looking at was an ex parte order which has a lifeline of 7 days. You extended it for another 7 days so that you can conduct this Congress. But that Congress, okay, you even took us to court in that ex parte order. Now, you have also gone, after we told you that the High Court does not have jurisdiction over us, you have also gone to ask the court to go back to that judgment and withdraw INEC from it. That kills that judgment. It kills it naturally, because then you should have asked for an amendment by way of request to the court before you even do that amendment, before you even ask for the ex parte order, because the other side would not have been served. So nobody can say that Abdurrahman or Wike or anybody, including myself, we are not saying, oh, we are the ones on top. We are the ones. No, we still have an appeal. We still have a Supreme Court. Do you understand? So we still have the appeal court. So at the end of the day, those judgments are still going to come.
Mr. Duarte, my apologies. Because of time, we're going on a commercial. I'm told we're in bid for a commercial, but I'll hold you for a few more minutes. Because the whole idea at the end of this conversation is to see whether there will be a way forward for the party. time is of the essence. Two off-cycle elections are coming. And that's important as a political party. I'm sure you understand. So this is why we're having this conversation. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Transfer.
Now money point, okay?
No worries, have good make am. Mogo Bible.
Victor, even you they use money point?
Of course now, they use money point.
Confirm.
Money point made for your progress.
In this life, it's what you do behind that shows in front.
Now you know. Give us the fire. Tell us more. It's Cosmo or nothing. Luxury or not. This is Cosmo.
That's why I roll with Cosmo deodorant. No sweat, no stains, no odor.
Now you know.
Cosmo Roll-On Whitening Deodorant.
All day freshness, 7 days a week from GVS Cosmetics.
Hi everyone. Have you heard of EV Buy Christmas Bonanza? I guess you haven't. This Awufu Brekete is starting from November 15th to December 31st. EV Buy is offering reduced interest rates, discount on screen insurance, amazing gift items, food stuff, and many more. Easy Buy, buy now, pay later.
My baba, they always say, for market, every day gets your own wahala. Sometimes people go want scam you. But Baba say, no be by gra. You must cool down, dey sharp. Because with OPay payment, your money go enter sharp, no story. But inside market, anything fit happen. One day, we no see phone again. My baba remember OPay USSD lock, dial *955*131#. Baba press and lock account. From market woman to driver, from small boy to big man. Now OPay, they protect people like us. My baba fit sell, press phone, collect POS, and still they teach me price. And when they don't tire, go just tap OPay night guard. We no fear for this our hustle life. Now OPay be the people payment shield.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, Guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
It be like saying Trusha. This kind of resilience is only made in Nigeria. Rolled sleeves, working miracles, making progress happen with competence and compassion, made in this same Nigeria. There is a Nigeria to be made by the Nigerian who makes things happen. Union Bank, enabling success here and now.
And the National Productivity Order of Merit Award goes to...
The only tomato tomato paste manufacturer to win the National Productivity Order of Merit Award by the federal government of Nigeria. Endorsed by the Association of Private Medical Practitioners of Nigeria.
The Duchess International Hospital opened its doors in October 2021. The mission of the hospital is to reverse medical tourism. We take particular care here at the Duchess to bring together a combination of the brightest and the best locally, as well as Nigerians in the diaspora who are interested in returning to do very good work for the benefit of our patients here in this country.
The good thing is that we have all international expertise here, all international facilities here, international people working here. Everything is coming together in a space which was considered not great in terms of the availability of healthcare.
Access Bank, of course, has been able to provide us with a robust range of products and services that has enabled us to deliver that standard and quality of healthcare that is integral to our mission as an organization.
Welcome back. My guest is Mr. Adeliji Doherty, is the Deputy National Secretary, National Caretaker Committee of the People's Democratic Party. Mr. Doherty, thank you for staying with us on the program. Let's begin to look at the way forward here. And the way forward, by that I mean time is of the essence. Osun State, perhaps because of all that is going on, the governor has left and has joined a court party. So I don't know what's going to happen as far as the PDP is concerned. Nigerians are wondering as well, Ekiti State as well, what is going to happen, because these are the immediate off-cycle elections that will be taking place ahead of the big one in 2027. I just did a quick roll count. I hope my numbers are correct, but from the numbers I have, if you add the first 5 that left the PDP just before they joined the APC, that's Amechi Group and the rest, till date, about 16 PDP governors have left the PDP to the APC majorly, and then I think a court party. What's the way forward?
You know, thank you very much. I would like to address 2 things here, okay? And one will be this so high respect we all give governors on the on the air and everything. You understand? I remember, you know, Joe Biden. He was being called Sleepy Joe on TV many times, and the moderator never said, no, don't say this, don't say that. You understand? But it happens in Nigeria. So I will talk to other journalists about this, really, because we that try to contest are supposed to be looked at as servants to the people. They are not lords over us. You understand? I've ran for governor 3-4 times. You understand? Well before the governor of Oyo State even came into politics. You understand? So that is by the side. Now, let's go back to the main issues. You understand? Now, when you're looking for a way out of this, I've already said this in the beginning. You understand? We need to get our house straightened. Our internal democracy has to be fact-checked, has to be stringent for us to be able to deliver the dividends of democracy to our people, which is the Nigerian populace. And with all due respect, right, and with all due consideration to the Nigerian people, the only thing I can do right now is to apologize on behalf of our party to the Nigerian people, because we all are suffering whatever it is. You understand? Even though Nigeria is going through a structural adjustment program, so if you talk to some people in the business world, they will tell you that Bola Tinubu is doing well. If you talk to the man on the street, they will tell you, no, he's not doing well. You know, so there are mixed feelings, but when there's structural adjustment program in a country, definitely it will bite. However, at the same time, it is the back-to-back, you understand, templates that this government is using is what is making it more difficult to endure. Now, what is the way forward? The way forward is going to be this, and I'll be very honest with you, okay? I'll be very honest with you. It's the door of having a truce is closing as the minute goes by. And it is due to the high-handed, the unguarded retreats of the governor of Oyo State and the purported chairman that came out of that convention. And I told him at the meeting, that's the national chairman from the convention. And I told Turaki this. I said, one of the reasons why it's going to be difficult for us to sit with you is your rhetorics and this delusion that you are the national chairman. Now, this has happened. The INEC is telling you right in front of all of us that you should stop writing them because you don't have the authority to do so. Now, let us bring that to a halt.
We just have about 10 seconds. We can land.
Now sit. Now we can now sit, right? You see our leader, which is Governor Wike. You can see him. He and Sheyi Makinde need to sit. Let them talk. Let them do whatever they're going to do. Okay? And then stop these high retreats.
Okay.
You understand? Verbal.
All right, Mr. Duhati, interesting days ahead for your party, and I think it's an ongoing conversation we will continue to have because we need to have a viable, formidable opposition for democracy to thrive. But I must thank you. Mr. Adedeji Duhati is the Deputy National Secretary of the National Caretaker Committee.
Can I say something quickly?
We're totally out of time. Totally out of time. My apologies, sir.
Can I say something? It doesn't mean that you must have an opposition. It doesn't mean democracy doesn't mean you have
no. That's your point of view, but we know democracy thrives with formidable opposition. But I must thank you. We'll take a break. When we come back, I'll be speaking with the senior advocate of Nigeria. Stay with us.
Workaholic son.
Mama.
I wanted to thank you for the solar inverter. In fact, my friends want to say thank you. When you told me about that massive solar savings, they all went to buy their own Sun King solar product.
Yes, sir. I'm glad you like your Sun King solar inverter, but I have one more gift for you. Surprise!
Switch to more precious moments.
Our end-of-year sales is on. Doors are more than entryways, they are guardians. At Swiss Street Doors, we don't just build doors, we make grand entrances. From the timeless elegance to the unmatched strength of our historical doors, our pivot security doors, our exclusive doors, and our Irish galvanized steel doors, to the water resistance of our internal doors, don't miss your chance to save big. Come and enjoy our 50% combo discount offer now. Swiss Street Doors, your door, your pride.
My baba, they always say, for market, every day gets your own wahala. Sometimes people go on scam you. But baba say, no be by gra. You must cool down, dey sharp. Because with OPay payment, your money go enter sharp, no story. But inside market, anything fit happen. One day, we no see phone again. My baba remember OPay USSD lock, that's star 955 star 131 hash. Baba press and lock account. From market woman to driver, from small boy to big man. Now OPay, they protect people like us. My baba fit sell, press phone, collect POS, and still they teach me price. And when they don't tire, go just tap OPay night guard. We no fear for this our hustle life. Now OPay be the people payment shield.
My name is Austin Azuko Kocha, but you all call me JJ. That's because I was so unstoppable. They named me twice. During my days as a professional footballer, I played as an attacking midfielder. No one could stop me, not even malaria, when mosquito bites. Now you too can be unstoppable if you use Lonat.
against malaria.
Lonut, a combination of Artemether and lumefantrine. Lonut, be unstoppable.
My workaholic son.
Mama.
I wanted to thank you for the solar inverter. In fact, my friends want to say thank you. When you told me about that massive solar savings, they all went to buy their own Sun King solar product.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you like your Sun King solar inverter, but I have one more gift for you. Surprise!
Switch to more precious moments.
Welcome back. Let me bring you my guest, Ms. Kayode Delola, is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Let us say thank you so much for coming and thank you for your patience as well.
Thank you very much.
Let's see how you can intervene on this matter. I think my natural question, two-in-one question. The last thing the politician, the PDP man said, Mr. Duhati said, was that we don't really need opposition. I don't know what that means. Maybe you can interpret that for us. But in addition to that, is the fact that it looks like the Supreme Court or the court or judiciary in general indemnifying itself as far as leadership and membership of political parties is concerned has now caused more problem for internal party democracy than we've ever had, although lower courts are assuming jurisdiction. Funny. What do you make of it?
Well, first, the courts will only interpret the laws as they are, not as they ought to be. The political parties are bound by the statutes that enable INEC to register political parties and what the spread they must have, how they must conduct their affairs, and how INEC was recorded to participate, to observe their internal democracy, the primaries, the conventions, and what have you. On the other hand, the political parties must have their own constitutions that determine how they carry out their activities. And once those constitutions are in place and they are also registered with the INEC, those political parties are bound. Therefore, when you bring a matter before a court and say that a political party, perhaps its hierarchy, its management, or its executive council or its national working committee has failed to comply with any of its rules, then it should be the responsibility of the courts to pronounce if that is so, and to also rule that what they have done outside the provisions of the law or the Constitution have been null and void. Therefore, we cannot blame the courts, except, of course, like we have said again and again, where people try to use the power of the courts to have their own vested interests come into play by going before courts of coordinated jurisdiction multiple times in order to mislead them into giving conflicting decisions. But unfortunately, whilst we may criticize those who do this, we cannot absolve our courts completely where they are aware that a court which is of coordinated jurisdiction has given an order or a judgment, and a similar court then goes ahead to give something contradictory. It sends very wrong signals. And that is what I believe our courts should refrain from doing. So if you say that our courts have brought in more problems now into the party democracy or party organization and structure, I will agree with you to an extent. We have to come out of this situation where there's uncertainty about what the courts will rule. We should be able to say that this is what the law says, and no matter what court you go to in the land, the outcome will be the same.
Go ahead, land on your thoughts, sir, please.
Yes, and for the second item which you mentioned about whether we need opposition or not, it is clear that we need opposition in the kind of democracy we're practicing. We have multi-party system. We have different candidates that will come in. One person will surely win, and others will not win. So what we need is others to stand in the gap, ensure that those who have won and who occupy the seats of authority do what they have to do. Opposition does not mean quarrel. Opposition does not mean a fight. It just simply means that you're putting the winners to the test of the integrity, of the responsibility, and the ability to carry out the responsibility they have asked that the electorate give them the opportunity to carry out. That's my position on that.
Let us say, without belaboring the issue, I've read a couple of Supreme Court judgments, and especially when it comes to these issues. I remember one of those judgments. Forgotten the judge, the Lord Justice now, who wrote that judge. I think it was a contributory judgment, who said, we said it over and over again, that issues around political party membership, those are the words, leadership, are exclusive preserve of the political party. So the only window is perhaps the Electoral Act 2022, Section 84, subsection 15, that has to do with nomination of candidates for election. So so outside that window that is clearly written, politicians have found a way to find themselves in court. Help us interpret, outside the window of nominations and all of that, is there any other reason with the decision of the Apex Court where the politicians should ever approach the court again?
As I said, only when the constitution of that political party has been flouted, or where the laws as regards INEC and how they must interrelate with the political parties. It is not for the courts to determine who's going to be their chairman. It's not for the courts to determine who's going to be their executive committee. But then there has to be a mechanism by which conflicts within political parties are resolved. Let's face it, even in families, you have brothers taking brothers to court, because then again, we say that's the last hope of the common man. Ordinarily, what the court is saying is that political parties ought to be able to resolve their internal wranglings without necessarily coming to the court. And worse still, when they come to the court, they drag INEC along with them. The truth is, if there's an issue about who should be chairman or who should be secretary, there ought to be a platform where they can take these agreements to and have them resolved. I don't want to mention political parties because one wants to sound non-partisan here, but there are parties where you do not have these wranglings day in, day out. How do they manage? Well, some people may say, oh, well, maybe because they have some overriding power there and who just tells them what to do, what not to do. Maybe it works out for them, I don't know. But we are approaching 2027. We need to have a multi-party system. We need to have more political parties than having singularly APC. We don't want to have only APC running across the field as if it's just a one-man route. We want to have a viable PDP. We want to have a viable NNPP. We want to have a viable ADC and an APGA, so that at the end of the day, whoever wins will know that they have indeed fought a gallant fight and they have obtained the mandate of the people. So issues about PDP, honestly, I think when we consider how far PDP has come, they ought to be able to resolve these issues. And that's what the courts are saying. Internally, there must be a mechanism for resolving these issues. But when everybody, statesmen, are leaving the PDP for other political parties and then they're leaving others to fight to a bitter end, it's not good for the party. It's not good for the electorate. It's not good for our democracy. It's not good for our electoral system. So at the end of the day, we'll find perhaps interest.
Yes. Yeah, in closing, I'm sorry to say, but it looks like the parties do not have the maturity to put their own house in order, which is why things end up in court. Ideally, it should be they should have the maturity to collapse their ego or whatever it is they have to collapse to find a path. It's about interest wrangling. Everybody wants something on that table. But they've lost the ability to do that, and they end up in court. What is now left for the court? Because they are now back to the place that pronouncement is not supposed to be made in that direction. So what is now left for the court in terms of decision going forward?
Well, if a matter is brought before a court has to take a decision. Now, the Federal High Court has ruled, say that INEC shouldn't recognize this, the outcome of the convention in Ibadan until the law has been complied with. So if the court says that until the law has been complied with, it means that we cannot allow a state of lawlessness. Therefore, now that they've gone on appeal, the appellate court will have a right to take a decision. And I had to refrain from using the word which you used, the word maturity. Indeed and in truth, I think a lot more maturity is required to ensure that these political parties behave the way they ought to, in our own interest and in their own interest as well. Thank you very much.
I wish I had more time. I wanted to delve into the issue of defection that has been messed up by some of the political class. Despite the locus classicals of Abegunde and the Ondo State House of Assembly, politicians have now found a way to separate disagreement from defection as a premise to leave their party. Interesting days.
Absolutely.
But we'll need your intervention in some of that conversation. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Good night.
Mr. Kayode Adelola is a senior advocate of Nigeria, joining us virtually. And that's it on the program. Thank you so much for your time. It's Christmas Eve. Enjoy your time with your family and make the most of tomorrow and the rest of the year. See you tomorrow.